Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course, and as you can see from the title of this video, I want to give my commentary on Sunni Minx's latest YouTube live stream, her very first live stream on YouTube, where she was responding to recent reports of Moses allegedly being in jail right now. So it was a long live, and a lot of things were said that I definitely want us to have a serious, from the heart conversation about, because it deals with our race, the Black community, particularly Black men being incarcerated. Now, before we get into it all, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. Then YouTube will recommend this video to more people who love to discuss the various topics that come about Love and Marriage Huntsville. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. And certainly everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on these sound bites are allowed. All right, so Sunni, she went live tonight and she was very clear that Moses is not facing a federal case. Sunni said that the documents that have surfaced relates to incidents that happened in the early 2000s when Moses was just in his 20s. She definitely said, of course, she posed the question, what were you like in your 20s? What did you do in your 20s? And of course, we all know that we cannot judge each other. I may not have done what Moses has done, but still that does not make me better than Moses or vice versa. Now, Sunni said that some content creators may get a quote unquote letter from her for reporting false info. I would imagine perhaps that's a cease and desist, or she didn't really specify what type of letter. Sunni said that while she knows that she signed up for a TV show, she said that she and Moses are still people. So now, when Sunni went live tonight on YouTube, in my opinion, this was the first time that, for me, this was the first time that Sunni's energy was just a little defensive. But when she said, while she knows that she signed up for a TV show, she and Moses are still people, that is when I understood that, she's human. So if she's going to be defensive after people have looked up she and Moses' real names and their addresses, and they know his current status of allegedly being away, I understand why she would be defensive. In fact, quite a few times tonight during her live, she was saying, some of you all who are judging Moses and I, some of you probably don't know who your baby daddy is, or you may not even know who your daddy is. And you're so concerned about my husband Moses because you do not have one. And that's pretty much kind of like the cheap, great value read, right? We hear it from Wanda when she claims that, millimeters don't have a man. You may experience it when a man is hitting on you, and you could very politely express that you're not interested. And then he starts going off on you, perhaps cursing you out, throwing insults, and, pointing out that you don't have a man. That's what they assume. So I kind of expect that out of people, So, again, I understand why she was a little defensive, because at this point she is exhausted over people judging her husband Moses' past. And, I think she was really just sent over the edge once the reports came out that Moses may be in jail right now. Now, she said that as far as Moses going to jail, Sunni actually said that, a Black man in America has a high chance of going to jail. And she estimated that the probability of him going to jail is around 70%. I have to admit that I found this statement that she said to be rather shocking. But I will say that she did open up a can of worms that I think that we should have very serious and meaningful conversation about it. So let's say Sunny is accurate in her estimation that, the chance of a Black man going to jail here in America is 70%. I feel like we need to address the why behind that. Like if she wanted to do a follow up live on that statement and she had a panel of people, not just like the people she brought up on her live tonight, and I'm going to get into that, but also if she had, a sociologist. I've always felt like sociology kind of supports the Black person's experience in America because sociology looks at your childhood, if you experienced anything traumatic, if you grew up in a single parent household versus a two parent, the education levels of your parents, were you impoverished? Were you abused? And sociology says that those experiences help to shape the person that you are, and they help to explain some of the choices that you make. So I kind of feel like sociology is kind of almost like an empath. If you were to give that human characteristic to a study, sociology, I kind of felt like it always supported the Black person's experience. But I would say, Sunny, if you're going to make a statement like that, let's expand upon that. Let's elaborate. Because when you just throw that out there, it kind of comes off like an excuse. And the thing is, we like you and Moses. You two have a strong support system within the viewership of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So many people have commented, I'm still Team Sunny and Moses. So you didn't even have to say, as far as Moses going to jail, the Black man has a high chance of going to jail because it looks like that's all the Black man can do. I would have just not let those words come out of my mouth. And I would have just said, none of us are perfect. You cannot judge me and I cannot judge you, and leave it at that. So I guess she noticed comments in the chat saying, you say that you're a Christian. And she said, yes, I am a Christian, but after being attacked, what do people expect? And you know what? I agree with Sunny. I don't have much to say regarding this. I feel like that's almost like a guilt read when someone wants to point out your Christianity and, oh, look at you. I am not perfect. Jesus even said himself that, he's here for the sick. The church is a hospital, and he's coming to heal us. He's not for, I'm not going to say he's not for the person who claims to be perfect or thinks that they're healed, but that's why he came. So I totally agree with her there. I'm not going to be worried about trying to be perfect for people or don't curse and don't say that. I have to be me. And even while I'm being me, no one can judge me. So I don't have to say much on that. I totally felt Sunny on that. She also clarified that, Moses started dating his first wife when he was at the young age of 14. I think she was trying to, what I took from that was she was trying to say, any mistakes that he may have made in that marriage. He was so young when he started, dating her, and then they got married as young adults, I would imagine, or during his time in jail, I think. So she did mention that. Now, I do want to talk about basically the title of my video, Why Destiny Introduced Him as Moses. So Sunny did point out something that I think is very important, and that, I did grab this soundbite because she does make a great point. So I'm going to go ahead and play the soundbite and then come back with my commentary.
Moses is not some fake alias that he made up to be on this show. Let's be clear. The name Moses was introduced to y'all by someone else. He didn't introduce himself as this person. You guys were introduced to him by someone else before you even saw who he was. They chose to introduce him with his nickname and his alias for a reason. Because it was something they were trying to hide at the time. We came on the show and he was already introduced as this person. That's how you knew him. So for the people who are like, oh, he got this alias, he's fake, he never told you that was his name. I'm just saying, I'm just speaking on facts now. I'm just saying that
Okay, so Sunni pointed out, and she's right, when we, the viewers of Love and Marriage Huntsville, were first introduced to Moses, at the time he was dating Destiny, who was on the show at that time, season 5. And we didn't know him. The only person we remotely knew was Destiny, and she introduced her boyfriend as Moses. Sunni goes on to say, which that was great that you pointed that out, Sunni. And Sunni goes on to say that Destiny introduced him as Moses on purpose. There was something, there was a reason why she did that. And so in my notes, I typed out, why would Destiny want to hide Moses' identity? Is his real name in any sort of legal documents, perhaps filed by Liberic? Because there is this whole Moses was married at one point. Destiny was married at one point. They dated off and on for 15 years. I know what time it is with that. In my opinion, it's giving friends with benefits. When you need some affection, when you need some male attention, or he needed some female attention, they would text each other. They would call each other. They would make plans to fly, across state lines to see each other. And it is what it is. They are adults. It's no big deal. Okay. Unless you are married. Okay. That's a separate conversation. But if it's two single people, and you have a scratch and you have an itch and they're willing to scratch it, bada bing, bada boom. Okay. We're all adults here. So with the whole time that they were messing off and on, and then she tells him, I found a man that would marry me, and then there's a baby, I don't know. I don't know what there would be the reason to hide his true identity, but that was my instant thought, that it may be tied to Liberic somehow, and perhaps some suggestions that he may have had and that he may have filed, just in my opinion. But moving right along, Sunni then, added people to her live, including a good friend of Moses named Mike, and then a supporter of Sunni and Moses. Her name is Bobby. So with Mike, in my opinion, he did not do Moses any favors by talking about quote unquote street dudes and the women who date them. So I actually, in my notes, I typed out what Mike said, because I was like, oh, Mike, I don't know about that. But I'm going to go ahead and let Mike tell you, and then I will come back with my commentary.
That's what it is, man. Everybody know what that is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know what it is. Home know what it is. All that shit. You know what I'm saying? The game is the game. That shit don't change. The only thing changes that motherfucker is different players. Everybody know, goddamn me, when you outside, the wife get to sit home and look pretty. Everybody else got to bust their fucking feet. So all y'all that's on her that don't understand how the street game go when you dealing with a street nigga, yeah, that's what it is. If you the trophy, you sit up and you look pretty and you spend the paper. All the rest.
I want to make it clear that I never wanted to date. That was not my type of guy that I dated in my past, like a street dude, because I knew that there were certain things that come with that guy, and that's why I kind of stayed away from that. You know what I'm saying? And even dealing with Moses, that's in his past, right? Okay.
He ain't even a street dude no more. He's a regular Jersey citizen. He's not even a street guy. Don't got no ties to the streets. No, none of that shit.
Yeah, and it's like he's a reformed person. I want to say it's so hard for somebody like him to turn a leaf to where they completely legitimized in their business. It has completely gotten away from the streets. What's going on today is some shit that has absolutely nothing to do with the things that have been said. The things that have been said happened in his 20s. And I didn't judge him based off of his past because I wasn't a part of his past. I married him off the person he is today and the man that he's growing to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it was behind him. You know, he still has some things lingering from that. But the man he is today, he's not a street dude. So I didn't fall in love and was dating a thug that I knew was in the streets and hustling and doing all that. No, because I don't play that. I didn't, and I chose not to judge him off his past because I saw who he is. I was able to see past everything. I saw him and I judged him based off his heart.
So basically what you saying is you didn't meet Moses.
I didn't meet Moses.
You met Jason.
I met and fell in love with the man that he is today. The man that he was with them girls 15 years ago, I wouldn't even look twice.
Okay, so Sunny cleared it up really good because Mike was saying, you know, when it comes to dating street dudes, the woman just sits and look pretty and you spend paper. And Sunny's like, you know, just to be clear, I do not date street dudes. That was not my type of man. And the man that I fell in love with and married, he is not a street dude. And then Mike actually says, so you didn't meet Moses, you met Jason. And I can tell that this entire experience of Moses' real name coming out, I can tell that it still makes Sunny a little uncomfortable, which I would be the exact same way. Because when Mike said, so you didn't meet Moses, you met Jason. And she was like, she kind of like froze for a couple seconds. And she said, I met the man that I'm with today. You know, so Mike he wasn't really gauging her temperature, you know, as much, but that's okay. Because after all, no one is perfect. I would definitely say that was the takeaway from Sunny's live tonight. Now, Sunny also spoke with a lady named Bobby, a supporter of hers, and Bobby admitted that she once lived a criminal life, but she has turned her life around. She has been in jail before, and she is educated. She's earned degrees, I believe her Juris Doctorate, and it sounds like she may be going through some things similar to what Judge Greg Mathis went through after he completed law school. Initially, you know, powers that be, I would imagine the state perhaps, was trying to prevent him from practicing law, but he was able to overcome it. And I believe that's what Miss Bobby is going through as well. And she said that she has created a petition where people can sign if they'd like to in support of her being able to practice law. And Miss Bobby, she brought up about how when you have a criminal past and you are out on probation, that if you have a very anal or judgmental probation officer, they may declare you violating probation very easily. And I noticed that when she said that, Sunny said, you know, Bobby, you hit the nail on the head. Sunny did not explicitly say that Moses has violated any type of probation. I just noticed her reaction to when Miss Bobby said that. Also, Miss Bobby also said, do not be quick to judge. She said, you know, your niece may get into trouble. Your nephew will get in trouble. You know, I kind of felt like the negative premonitions were a little weird. Miss Bobby wasn't the only one to say anything similar. You know, they all did in their way of defending Moses and basically saying nobody can judge him. And it's true. None of us can be judged by another human who's no better than you. You know, human beings, we are all vulnerable to making mistakes. To err is human, to forgive divine. But I would just say stick with that versus, speaking, oh, yeah, and your family member is going to do this wrong and you're going to do that wrong and you don't have a man. But, again, they are human. So I understand, being that defensive. But at the very end of Sunny's life, she said Moses will be home really soon. So she did not definitively say where Moses is right now, but she said that he will be home very soon. I have a feeling she will definitely go live again with Moses by her side. And I have a feeling because so far he seems to be like an open book. He may confirm where he's been. We'll have to see if he gets out in time, assuming if he is locked up, assuming if he is locked up, we'll see if he's able to get out in time to film the reunion. We know that the reunion will be filmed sometime this month. But I saw a lot of you all in the chat. I was busy taking notes and trying to focus and not only listen to the words, but look at people's facial expressions and body languages. So, but I saw a lot of people from the millimeter sphere in the chat. So, what do you all think of Sunny's live? I thank you all so much for watching this video. I always appreciate the support. And a very meaningful question that I have, what did you think about Sunny's statement saying that a Black man in America has a very high chance of going to jail? Do you think that that is something that definitely calls for a broader, lengthier conversation? And if so, please say in the comments, why do you think a Black man possibly would have a high chance of going to jail? I don't think that it is that black and white, no pun intended. I know definitely that racism is very much so prevalent. But I do also believe that if you have a solid family foundation, I really feel like, that mom and that dad being involved in that child's life, if the two parents can be under the same roof, raising little ones, that's that traditional side of me. I really do think that that is the secret sauce. And I'm basing it off of my own experience growing up in a two-parent household because I did not grow up in a wealthy suburb. I grew up in the city of Detroit, and I would call it a hood. It was a hood, but I grew up in a house where we did go to church on Sundays. My dad was a deacon. He worked two jobs at an auto plant and a cleaner's. And he was very traditional, a little bit chauvinist. So, he felt like, moms take care of the home and men take care of the bills. And that also painted a picture for when I would date, though, like I'm just not going to sponsor a man. I'm not going to do that. So as a single woman, I also expect you to have yours, because of how hard my dad worked to provide for all of us. And although I geographically grew up in a hood, I went on to graduate college, and it was because, mama emphasized education. She went to the parent teacher conferences and she looked at my report cards and she made me read to her every night. So I don't really subscribe to, a Black man automatically has a high chance of going to jail. I really think that that foundation plays the role, and then it affects the types of choices that an individual makes. So when it comes to that statement, I definitely disagree with Sunny. I don't think it's that black and white, but you all let me know what you thought about her statement when she said that. And again, I thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button on this video as it is a free way of supporting the channel. And I will talk with you all soon. Take good care. Bye.